with saturated soil and heavy rain expect down trees and power lines.
Awesome.
Holy Toledo.
Yeah, this is going to be fun.
Thursday.
Thursday. It is
This all
Tuesday.
starts Thursday.
Hurricane is coming. Oh boy. Well, welcome back to another video, another one where I'm sitting down talking to you because either I haven't been fishing or fishing has not been great. And this time it just hasn't been great. And I'm going to give you the reason why it hasn't been great and what you should do to change your mindset. So we'll get into it. Before we get into it, make sure you go check out Bass Smooch and Level. Bass Smooch just released their really nice rain gear, which I have not had the chance to look at yet, but I will be getting a chance soon to give a review. It's got 3 layers, completely waterproof, all the fun stuff, the bibs and the rain jacket. So if you want to go check that out and all the other cool baits and apparel that they have, make sure you go check them out at bassmooch.com. Use the link in my description. When you buy something through that link, it helps me out a whole lot, and I would greatly appreciate it. But, so what has happened? So these past 2 weekends, we're in a 3-week stretch. This week we fished our first Bass High School Western Series tournament. We fished a Mountain Series, and we fished South Carolina Trail, a Palmetto Boat Center tournament. The first one was the Palmetto Boat Center tournament at Lake Hartwell, and the second one was the Mountain Series tournament at Lake Fontana. Lake Hartwell, we did not go to practice. We have never done great at Hartwell. I caught my PB at Hartwell, actually, but we've never really done super good at Hartwell. And tough conditions. It was rainy, very cloudy. It was kind of chilly outside that day. It was 2 weeks ago. And I was going to the mindset, okay, I think we can do good. If we fish it like we did Chattooga, because they're all herring lakes, we will be good. We'll be dandy. But on the north side of the lake where we were near Green Pond, we stayed near the boat ramp most of the day. Nothing. No action at all. That's where we stayed most of the day. We saw a lot of fish on the graph. We couldn't get them to bite anything. We caught a small bass and a chain pickerel. Those were the 2 fish we caught that day, and that was it. The small bass wasn't able to weigh. They have to be 14 inches. It was 13. So we zeroed that day. It was not great, not fun. The last hour of the day we really just spent laying on the front deck of the boat being like, I wish we could just get off the water now, but we waited. We left, and okay, well, maybe next week will be better at Lake Fontana. Keep in mind that these Palmetto Boat Center tournaments can have upwards of 200 boats in them. Lake Fontana was a little bit better. Started off in the morning, ran way upriver. We watched this charter. There's a charter and a pontoon. They were catching a ton of fish, a ton of bass on live bait. And we ran upriver, about 8 foot of water. We're seeing a lot of fish on the graph. Of course, they were chasing our baits up to the boat. We could see them chasing them to the boat. Wouldn't touch it. Caught a small, I'm telling you, when I say small, literally this big, like 5-6 inches long bass. And the Mountain Series tournament, you can keep 2 in your size. Okay, so we throw it live well just in case nothing else happened that day. And fished around a lot more upriver. We saw a lot of schooling action. Just cannot get those fish to bite either. So we ditched that plan, headed to the spot. We placed 3rd at Fontana in the couple previous tournaments before then. Again, we didn't see much. We didn't see a lot of fish. But we fished around there for about 2 hours, and okay, we're going to go to a marina on the other side of the lake. So our boat ramp is near Almond, North Carolina, which is all the way on the far east side of the lake. And this marina we were going to is all the way near the dam on the west side of the lake, Fontana Village. So we run over there, fish around the marina is where we caught our last 2 fish, about a 2.5 pound spot and another bass that was literally 5 inches long. I'll throw the clips up if I am able to. I'll throw them up as I'm talking of me catching the 2.5 pounder, because the little ones is really nothing goes on. But at the marina, we saw quite a lot of fish, and we had a lot of chasers. We threw a big glide bait around. There's probably a 6, 7, 8 pounder. Followed that glide bait up to the boat and swam under it, which was really disappointing, because if we had caught that fish, it had one big fish, because big fish was only 3.5 pounds this weekend. But we fished around there. We stayed in there for 2 hours, I think, in that cove, just fishing around. We took the first loop, caught the bigger one, took the second loop, caught that little bitty one, and that was it. That was the only fish we caught. Fontana was also really stingy for a lot of people. It took, I thought, what was it, 12 pounds to win it, I think. 11 pounds was second place, 8 pounds was third place out of like 20 boats. The junior series had 5 pounds won it, and 5 fish limits. A lot of people zeroed. A lot of people only caught 1, 2, 3 fish, including us. So we ended up, there was a 2.5 pound spot. We ended up weighing 286. So those fish were not even a quarter of a pound apiece. It was 2 small bass, but that day was interesting. And looking back at it, yeah, it's September. September is one of the hardest months to fish, in my opinion. But what a lot of fishermen get wrong, especially newer fishermen, is they think that whenever they start fishing and they watch all these YouTubers on YouTube and all these TikToks, hey, fish this bait here, fish this bait here, they're going to go out and they're going to absolutely catch 20, 30 bass every single time they get out in the water. And that is just not the case. I think I'm definitely not a super great fisherman. I think I'm a good fisherman. I think I know what I'm doing most of the time. But as you can see, even Jacob Wheeler, he'll go out and he'll get skunked. I mean, there's days, especially on pros and YouTubers' accounts and stuff, you only see the good days. You never see the countless days that they've had. They got in the water, they only caught a couple fish. They've zeroed. They've done all these things, and they weren't catching fish. They weren't fishing well, and you don't see that ever. All you see is going out, oh, we caught 30 bass this day. Oh, we caught 4 6-pounders this day. Oh, we caught an 8 and a 10 this day. That's all you see. You don't ever see the bad days. And I feel like I needed to come in here and talk about this because especially a lot of these newer guys, a lot of the younger guys, like you middle schoolers and stuff, y'all think that every time you go out in the water, especially if you're newer and you watch all these videos, you think you know it all. And I'm not trying to be mean or anything. That's just straightforward. Especially me, I used to be the same way. You will get humbled very quickly. Fishing is a very humbling sport. I thought I knew what I was doing on Hartwell. Skunked. I thought I semi-knew what I was doing. Isaac gave us a new idea. We did that idea. We caught fish. Whenever we did my idea on Fontana, we didn't catch fish. So, I mean, there's days where you think you might know, hey, we should be fishing main lake points with jigs and drop shots, and maybe we'll throw a couple top waters over these points. Instead, the dude actually winning the tournament is fishing in the backs of creeks, flipping brush piles or skipping docks with a wacky rig, and he could be winning that tournament. And you may think differently. Oh, I caught him in, especially those days in practice. If you're a tournament fisherman, those days in practice where you go and practice the day before and there's a big weather change the next day. So if it's sunny, 80 degrees the day before, and then the next day a cold front hits, it's a little rainy, cloudy, like 72 the next day, the fishing is going to completely change whether you like it or not. You may be cranking riprap banks and catching fish all day in practice. Hey, I caught 16 pounds in practice, 16 pound bag. You're going to go do the same thing the next day. Big cold front hits, fish will turn off. You would have had to go super deep into creek channels and ditches and all these things to be able to catch fish. So what I'm trying to get at is you may think you know it all, but that doesn't mean every single time you go out and fish, you're going to catch fish. There's a lot of videos that I have recorded that I have not caught fish. And that's okay. That happens to everybody. That happens to pros, Jacob, all the best fishermen in the world. You can go look at Hank Cherry, for instance. He was doing really good the first 5-6 tournaments in the Elite Series. And the last 3 tournaments, he blew out his classic because he just did not fish well. And that's what can happen. You can fish, this past spring, we fished great. We got 20th in points, something like that. Multiple top 10 finishes, multiple top 20 finishes. And come fall, we had a top 10 finish at Chattooga about a month ago. And then these next 2 tournaments have blanked, nothing. I mean, I might have got a few points. I think we actually did squeeze out a 10th place finish at Fontana. That's how tough it was. But that's it. So what you have to realize is there's days where either you're going to be the fish may be biting, but you're just fishing the wrong areas. Baits, people overcomplicate baits. You could be fishing the wrong bait in the right spot and probably still catch a few fish. You could be fishing the right bait in the wrong spot and not catch anything. The fish got to be there for them to bite it. So, that if you take that as you will, 90% of the fish live in 10% of the water. So you may just be fishing in the wrong areas, or the bite, especially you are able to see so much stuff with this forward-facing sonar now. You will look at your forward-facing sonar and you will see schools of bass everywhere, under bait, around bait, just sitting on the bottom, suspended. And you'll throw your bait in there and they'll chase it, or they just won't touch it. And it just makes you look, okay, well, those fish aren't biting. And people waste their time on those fish, especially on forward-facing sonar, on those fish that will chase their bait and keep chasing it. I sit there for 30 minutes targeting the same 4 fish. Like, dude, move on. If they're not going to bite, they're not going to bite. Fish have feeding times throughout the day, and they're different for every single fish. So one school may bite at 8 a.m. One school may bite at 9:30. One school may bite at 11. One school may bite at 1. One school may bite in the middle of the night. You never know. Fish have different bite times depending on the times of day. So the main point to take away from this, you're not going to go catch a fish every single time you go fishing. If you did that, it'd be called catching, not fishing. So take that, use it. Of course, be confident. But if you're overly confident and you're going out and telling everybody, hey, I'm going to catch all these fish, it will humble you very quickly. So that's all I have. Make sure you go check out Bass Smooch and Level in the description below. I'll leave the link down there. If you did like the video, please leave a like. That'd be greatly appreciated. Also, hit the sub button if you're new. Hopefully, we'll have some good fishing content out for you soon. And we will catch you guys in the next one.